When you were a kid, did you ever look at your bed and just think of like a huge battlefield that you can play with your army men or Legos or whatever else you had? Why don't we bring that back for this? Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brandon Wheeler. One of my straw mouths because when I was in the army, I had like heat stroke, can't talk right. That I bite down a thing, so that thing. So I used to talk. Moving on. All right, so I was watching a play on tabletop thing a little bit ago, and someone mentioned in like a comment or something, it's like, "Are you all going to play Poorhammer's uh, Horde Mode thing?" I'm like, "What's a Poorhammer Horde Mode thing?" Now I've heard of Poorhammer because on YouTube, it's got a I've seen like some other videos talking about different Warhammer stuff and everything when looking at for Warhammer things. And I was like, okay. So I checked it out, and seemingly it's a full mode. They've been working on it for a while, but it's a full mode they just put out of kind of like a mode of where you get overwhelmed and everything because you can play it endless or up to 5 rounds, everything like that. And Tabletop Tactics has put out, as far as this video, 2 videos of them playing through it and everything. And I was just like, okay. And then reading the rules, they made it available on Google Drive and everything if you want to look at it. And I was thinking, you know what, I should play this one of these days. Well, this past week I was very tired, but for some reason I was wide awake and I couldn't get to sleep, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to start playing it. So from 9:30 to almost 2:30 in the morning, I did it myself. I played my own version of the thing. Now, I used the bed because thinking of the Horde mode thing, and I think it mentioned in the video of them announcing the Horde mode that thinking of little kids playing, overwhelming odds and everything with their Legos and army men, and it just made me think of like, yeah, I used to do that. I totally used to do that with my army men and stuff when I was a kid. So I was like, I got to do that. So, kind of as a tribute to that and everything, that's why I played on my bed. I put it together and everything. And I was like, screw it, why not? Now, for doing this, I had to come up with some stuff since I was running it by myself. I know they said do hammer anvil or something, but I decided to do something a little different. I didn't want to put any terrain on the bed. I just used 2 candles to help mark 2 of the objectives. I used a pillow underneath to kind of make a hill, and I had 2 zones behind the pillow to kind of make it for like a spawn point for the attacking group, which I chose to be Tyranids. And their detachment rule deals with like adding 1 to their strength when attacking and everything, and also battle shock test stuff. And I was like, okay, don't know if I'll use that, but all right, well, we'll go with that. But so yeah, I was gonna start it, and I was like, all right, let's go. Now, there's no videos of me playing it in this. It's a bunch of pictures of me, and I'm going to be describing that and everything. So if you want to sit around and have me explain it all throughout this, then welcome. You're going to be sitting around watching a lot of pictures and stuff, describing the very much hard thing that went and everything. I don't really have a camera to film all this and stuff, so I did with what I had. I had used my phone, but to try to stay up and keep doing that back and forth, trying to look at the computer, trying to figure out like, okay, what does a Horgonaut have? What does a Barbonaut have? What is this? What is that? All the saves and everything like that. It just would get too tedious to try to do that between that and the phone. So it was just like, just took pictures, and now I'm going to describe it to you. So for this, I chose to do my 2,000 point list, even though I know that's not necessarily recommended. I decided to play as high as I can because that's just what I have, and I decided to go with that. Again, I decided the first Tyranids, but what I was playing with is my Autumn Brigade, the homebrew based off the Raptors of the Raven Guard that I choose to play as. And I'll tell you my list as of such. My list, I decided not to use Cavan Shriek because even though he's technically the chapter master of the Raven Guard, he's not technically my chapter master for my my Autumn Brigade. So I decided for a story element I couldn't exactly use him, so it wouldn't be kind of like wouldn't be in the spirit of my thing. So this is what I use for the thing. I had a Librarian, a regular Librarian, with 1 Stern Guard unit, my yellow Stern Guard, as you can see, a Phobos Librarian with my Incursors, a lieutenant with my other Stern Guard. I had a heavy intercessor squad, 2 regular intercessor squads, one with a chainsword. Here's the thing about the intercessor box that I discovered when I bought it. It says that the intercessors can use power fists and chainswords and stuff like that. There's none of that available in the box to build it. How are you going to say it's available and then don't provide it in the box? Thanks, GW. But I had to look through bits and everything that I had in order to apply it, so that's what I did. So, at least I had one. So one squad has a chainsword. So 5 assault intercessors with jump packs, a devastator squad, 2 Inferno squads. You'll see in pictures that some of the Inferno squads look blue and black, and that's because my brother, when he was originally trying to go for Grey Knights, decided to give up his Grey Knights and everything, so he gave me his Infernus. So that's why I have those. That's why they look a little bit different color than my regular green ones, but that's fine. I should paint them one day, but I just haven't. An Infiltrator squad. Of course, I mentioned my 2 Stern Guards. They're with the leaders. A Terminator squad. The reason why one's in a cap is because I don't have the bits. Those Terminators were given to me, so I decided to just use what I have. Vanguard Veteran Squad, a Gladiator Lancer, Predator Destructor, and Redemptor Dreadnought. Chose not to use my Thunderstrike. Now, I don't actually have Tyranid models. I don't have any models of that alone. I don't have a second army or anything. I don't have anything like that. But what I do have is tons of bottle caps. The reason why I have tons of bottle caps is because when I started collecting the Warhammer stuff last October and I really wanted to play, I started collecting bottle caps because I realized after the few models I bought, these are about the same size for a lot of the bases of the models, so I proxied everything. And that's something I'd like to encourage anyone who wants to learn to play. You may not be able to afford all the models and stuff yet. Just get what you can, but you can probably get a bunch of bottle caps all over the place. Use that to proxy models that you're going to be playing with, and then build up to what you want to do, because then you have an advantage of like seeing what you want to play with, what you don't want to play with, stuff like that. It can actually be an advantage. Just tell your opponent, hey, I have a bunch of proxies, da-da-da, would that be okay? A lot of people are going to be usually okay with that. If you're trying to do a tournament or something, that's not going to fly. But for a casual play, you're just learning out, sure, proxy a bunch of bottle caps or whatever you have just to learn to play. It's fine, and you get to learn what to play with and get to learn to play the game. That's fine with me. So, that's what I had. Now, I set up the field in kind of a way. 5 objectives, 1 home objective, 2 in the middle, 1 on top of the hill, and 1 behind on the spawn zone where the Tyranids would be forming. And of course I use a whole bunch of bottle caps for the Tyranids. Now there's a spawn table, what you're supposed to pull, and everything for that first round. I didn't say a misery card in the first round either, but that's just the way it is. I decided to take 3 secret missions, because again, the idea of Horde mode's being outmatched, but I try to give myself the best option because seemingly, after playing this, I can tell you, you can go very wrong very quickly. So I decided to do 3 secret missions, Triangulate Signal, Lancelot, and Cleanse Sacred Ground. Now, how will those be achieved in the first thing or not? We'll see. But let's get to round 1. Secondaries were decided by, splitting all the... because on the Google Drive, it has, for the cards, you have, 6 cards per page and everything like that. And I just rolled a dice, and I chose that goes to that page, and I rolled another dice, and that goes to that secondary, and misery cards and stuff like that, and going forward. So that's what I did. Now, the first one that I got for round 1 is 6 Decapitation Strike, or number 6, Decapitation Strike. And for the Horde, I rolled 2 11s, and out of that, I kind of chose and rolled 1 Norn Assimilator and a Swarm Lord with 3 Tyrant Guards. Already this is going pretty bad. So Norn singular purpose was going to be on that hill because, again, they're going to have their objective and characteristics and everything. So another thing I like kind of about this Horde mode thing is because I can just proxy everything, I can learn to play with other armies that I don't necessarily have touched before and everything. Like, out of all the things I've versed yet, I've still not versed Sisters yet. I've just versed Astra Militarum, twice already. Lost both times, but hey, still haven't versed any Sisters yet, or Leagues of Votann, and a whole bunch of other Space Wolves, Space Marine stuff. But anyway, moving on. So I had Norn, Emissary, and the Swarm Lord and Tyranid and the 3 Tyrant Guards, demonstrated by these things as you can see in this picture. Now, the Infiltrators, they still have their abilities, so I moved them to the objective before the game began. Now, then the Horde gets to go first, and the Norn is able to move up. It says if they can advance, they're going to, so that's part of the rules, and that's what I did. The Norn moved up to the thing, but he didn't really have range to shoot anything. But the Swarm Lord, they did. Now, I was able to kind of... They attacked and shot at my Infiltrators and everything, the Tyrants and all that. 2 died and 1 got wounded. That's what happened with that, so I'm already losing some models here. But that's mostly all that they did. So then we're going to, well, my turn. So you start off with, you don't get any command points. This is one thing I found out I was playing wrong the entire time. I thought I'd get a command point. No, you have to actually buy it from the table thing after rereading the rules, so I had to be like, oh crap, I messed up. So I had to kind of rework everything to what I had, but you do get SP for owning objectives. So I had the home objective, which I stickied, and the objective the Infiltrators are on, so I had 2 SP. So the Orth was going to be the Swarm Lord because Decapitation Strike, I have to try to kill a Horde enemy character. Okay. So, the Norn Emissary, I attack with the Heavy Devastator, Incursors, Terminators, my Yellow Stern Guard, the Predator, and the Dread is the one that killed the Norn Emissary. Great! I killed the Norn Emissary. That's wonderful. Wipe that off the board. That adds 2 also to the tally of my, the Lance thing and all that. Well, it wasn't the Lance, it was the... Yeah, it was the Lancelot. Because Lancelot deals with the tally and everything. Now the Stern, on the north side, you see how I deployed everything. My other Stern Guard, they killed 1 Tyrant, and the Gladiator killed 2, but the Swarm Lord lives, meaning that objective I did not make. So that secondary I failed, and because I failed it, I get 2 extra misery cards going into the next round. So that's going to be a total of 3 misery cards for round 2. Well, first things first, it says to roll off for the thing, so I rolled for the 3 misery cards. They got Aim for Their Heads, Blistering Speed, and Bunkers Busted. Well, Bunkers Busted doesn't really afflict me that much, but Blistering Speed, where they can just charge in advance, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Secondary was Dragon Slayer. So that's going to be the secondary for this round. But, the roll, what did I roll? I rolled, besides what we already have on the board, there's 10 Barbonauts, or Barbgonauts, and 6, I rolled like a 5 and 6, and that would be 10 Gene Stealers. Now, I'm a little bit familiar with Gene Stealers because of how badly they can hurt in melee. So this is going to suck. So the Gene Stealers move, but they can't really get that far in order to do anything. So the Swarm moves, and he shoots more at the Infiltrators, and he kills all of them. So that sucks. Now I don't have anyone in range of the objective. The Barb targets the Infernus in front of them, and they had 31 shots, plus 10 for their blast, and it was 41 shots at the Infernus on the southern corner. 11 hits, wounds managed to be only 8. So fortunately out of that, I only had 2 die with 1 wound. So southern stuff is great. Now the Swarm, he charges towards my Purple Stern, and he kills 4 of them, but fortunately my Sergeant and the Lieutenant attacks back, and they wound him pretty handily. So great, that's wonderful, but we are looking at a bad thing right here. Now, I did remember after looking at this for the recap, I think I could have actually got the Gene Stealers in because they move pretty fast, and I forgot they advance, and I think I played that wrong. So, I think I kind of cost it, but either way, they might not have been able to get in. But I just have to remember to make sure to look at the rules further, to make sure I do everything. It's kind of hard doing things by yourself, but It's more like trying to get the idea of how to play it and things down than being exactly right. But for the next game, it will be better in how I run it and everything. But round 2 for me, I have 4 SP, being able to have the 2 objectives. Now again, I'm moving everyone around and everything like that. The Stern fall back because there's only 2 of them. The Infernus move closer. The Intercessors advance to the objective. My assault jump pack squad moves towards the swarm. And because of this, I'm able to do an action type thing. I'm able to complete triangulate with the 2 Intercessors and the yellow Stern. So 1 secret objective done. Great! The Vanguard are going to move towards the Barb and the others, and everything's just going to, vehicle-wise, stay still, blah, blah, blah. But I still have 1 home other objective for the Intercessors to stay back home. That way they don't die and everything. Now, the Swarm Lord is still the Oath. So the Swarm is the Oath, and Lieutenant and, Stormguard are able to knock some wounds still off the Swarm Lord, and after making the Oath a moment target, after a whole bunch of shooting and everything, and a whole bunch of things whiffing, I finally kill the thing. So that actually accomplishes the Lancelot protocol, and I actually get Lancelot as well. So 2 secret objectives done. I still don't understand why it does that thumb thing. The Vanguard charged the Barbonauts. They, 20 attacks, 16 hit, and 12, 6 of them die, but still not enough to wipe out the Barbonauts, but still enough to cause a ruckus, which is great. And fatigue starts setting in throughout this whole thing. But round 3, here we go. The secondary is going to be calling the shots, and the misery is Mind Killer. So this is going to be a thing. I rolled a 9 and a 5, which is a Tervagon, which I don't recall what that is. And 6 Tyranid warriors with melee. Oh boy. Both move near the Vanguard with the advance and everything. And the Gene Stealers, they move towards the Intercessors. The Tervagon, starts going towards the Infernus. And he kills 1 of them. But unfortunately nothing else. The Gene Stealers charge in to the Intercessors on the north side. And Gene Stealers have 40 attacks. Mind you, they have a reroll ability too. And 39 hits. Well, let's see. I wonder how it would go against regular Intercessors. They all die. Tervagon sweeps with his attack and causes 3 wounds. 2 more die, but the Vanguard goes into the Barbonaut and only causes 1 wound. So the Vanguard are not having a good day. So it is starting to be okay, but I'm losing some models here left and right. So not good. I have to take Battle Shock tests because of everything with the Misery card and everything like that. Things that get Battle Shocked: the Dread, the Bottom Infernus, Incursors, my Purple Stern Guard. It's just like, oh great, more things I don't need to be Battle Shocked. I spend 4 of my 4 CP or SP to make a field on my home objective, and I move my Purple Stern Guard and my Infernus back to that towards that objective, so I can try to start getting some wounds healed and everything. Because the field objective from the tablet and everything, you're able to heal up and everything like that. I oath the Gene Stealers because those things need to frickin' die. The Tervagon is I shoot at with the Predator, nothing. With the Yellow Stern Guard, bring it down to 15 wounds. The Heavy Intercessors bring it down to 12. Devastators split fire, they miss everything into him. The Gladiator can splits fire, gets it to 3 wounds. The Dread is able to kill it, but it takes Hazardous. Wonderful. The Gene Stealers, the rest of the Gladiator shoots in it, kills 3. The Devastators kill 2. And then the Terminators are able to kill 3. And the Infernus are able to burn the rest away, which is wonderful. Now, the Barbonauts, they just trade some wounds back and forth. Still don't get anywhere because that's what it is. But it was here I kind of realized, like, oh, I get a SP for killing units, too. Oh. after rereading the rules again, and I keep missing stuff. I'm like, oh, great. So I got more SP for killing stuff. Wonderful. But now we go on to round 4. Now the secondary is Insane Gambit, which basically means I gotta get rid of an objective. And it's like, okay. And then the misery was Unfettered Fury. Wonderful. I roll a 10 and 13 for spawning, and that's a Hive Tyrant with 3 Tyrant Guards, an Old One-Eye, and 2 Carnifex with Death Spitters. So, yeah. They all move up the hill towards the objective and towards the Vanguard. Alright, now on that objective I have the Tyrant Guard and everything. The Warriors, they basically attack the Infernus. The Infernus decide to Overwatch with my last kind of... because I bought an SP with that other thing I was able to do in order to get a CP for once. So that's good. So I was able to Overwatch. I only killed 1. And they have like this aggression ability, aggression imperative for the Warriors. And they have 27 hits, 26 wounds. Yeah, all my Infernus are dead. So... the Tyrant Guard melee 1 of each, and they kill the Vanguard, which you should have saw coming. Because it's like, why? Now, round 4 for me, I decided, because I have a total for my calculations, if I'm doing it right, 13 SP left, which is wonderful. I do another 4 to gain more CP, and I do a bunch of airstrikes, and so I have like 3 SP left. I do strikes along the area and everything, and it knocks a bunch of wounds off everything. My Stern Guard and Infernus, they move back to the hospital and each gain 3 wounds, so they bring back like a guy and a half of wounds. So I was like, ooh, great. Now the heavy intercessors on the bottom, they're going to try to commit the insane bravery act, and the oath is the Warriors. After much shooting and everything else, the Warriors all eventually go down. Now the Carney I keep shooting at with every single freaking thing, and it doesn't work until the Gladiator goes into it, and my Gladiator, of course, with the nuker, it kills it. Now unfortunately I was kind of off the objective, but I do have success in the secondary, so because I was able to complete the insane bravery thing, wonderful, I avoid more misery. And that was the end of round 4. Now I go into round 5, but it's like 2 something in the morning and I'm fading. I'm very tired, but I will tell you at least what would happen going in. The misery was grudge match, and no hard feelings, chitinous gnawing, and straight orbital bombardment. Because you have to really every round you only do like 1, 2, and then the last round you do so many misery cards. And secondary is use it or lose it, which didn't really apply to me. But the orbital bombardment, yeah, that caused a lot of problems. Because I split the zone into 4 zones, like from the bottom left 1, bottom right 2, top left 3, and top right 4. It mostly just hit me. It killed a bunch of stuff, and it knocked out 3 of my Stern Guard. The 3 guys I had in my Stern Guard thing, it just basically 3 mortal wounds to. It basically killed the 2 guys I brought back. Killed 6. It caused 6 mortal wounds to my intercessors. My Gladiator got 5 mortal wounds. The Incursors had 5 mortal wounds. The Infernus had 3 mortal wounds. The Terminators had 4 mortal wounds. And rolling wise, I had a 4 and 8. There's 11 Neurogaunts and a Neuro Tyrant with 3 Tyrant Guard. Now, talking it out in my head and everything like that, I would say they would probably take that other objective that was still available. I don't think I'd be able to take it back, even with everything I had, and plus with everything else they were going to do. So I completed 2 out of 3 missions, so that's a success. Yay! But if I went another round, even after round 6, like after round 5, it's going to turn south very quickly, because I was running out of stuff to be able to kill things. And that's not good at all. But that's just what it is. So, I know it's kind of a haphazard video and everything, me trying to explain everything and what was going on, but I wanted to tell you and show you what kind of went on during that time. Again, didn't really play round 5. I just decided to pack it up because it's, again, 2 in the morning. But next time when I do this, it's going to be during the day when I'm awake, so I don't have to do that. But, I don't know. Horde mode, I can see how it goes south very quickly. Because depending on what you decide to spawn on the table, because you could choose what's on the table and roll dice to, and then between that you could say like, okay, I'm going to choose this. And that completely could, I mean, 10 Gene Stealers is... But I did enjoy it, despite it being very late and everything like that. It was fun. Tedious having to do so many dice. I don't even have that many dice. I have like a thing of 30 dice, and I had to take it and re-roll again for the Gene Stealers and all the other attacks and everything like that. But, yeah, it went bad. So these are the pictures and everything that happened. Again, thank you to Poorhammer for making the Horde mode thing. I will like to do it again one day. Maybe I'll try again this week or something like that. I don't know what I'll play against. Maybe I'll try against like Sisters or Orcs. Something I haven't played against before or played very little against. But there's plenty of different options to do and everything like that to kind of get an idea of what you want to do. So it's just kind of like, alright, well, we'll see. Alrighty, so thank you for watching this video, this long video and explanation, and I'll see you in the next one whenever I play more Horde mode and everything else. Play it by yourself. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Just try to make sure when you play again to like, oh, okay, I need to make sure I do it correctly the next time and everything like that. And just make sure you keep trying and always make sure you're having fun throughout the entire thing, because that's just like what it's about. That and destruction. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the vid. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.